So what I guess what I'm going to do is really introduce a bit of an urban perspective to this discussion, because a lot of what we're doing in the urban environment in the past has obviously had impacts, and what we'd like to do in the present and future, of course, is not have impacts. And so in terms of Living Water Smart, which is the title of this document, hopefully you've all either heard about it or maybe you have copies of it. So I'm just going to talk about, really speaking on behalf of two ministries, Environment, which actually produced Living Water Smart, but it is a provincial government initiative, and the Green Communities Initiative, which is really championed by the Ministry of Community and Rural Development. So while I'm speaking on behalf of two ministries, I'm not an employee of the provincial government. I'm speaking on behalf of the partnership of which those ministries are members. And the significance of what can you do at all? Okay. The significance of these two initiatives is that they provide a vision of what the regions of this province can look like. And really what we're trying to do then, in terms of from a local government perspective, is focus on these three objectives, which is prepare communities for climate change, choose to be water smart, and strive to build greener communities. Because if we build greener communities, we have other benefits, including livability, but more importantly, protecting what's downstream. So just to elaborate on the Water Sustainability Action Plan, the two sponsors being the province and the Real Estate Foundation. And I should mention that the Real Estate Foundation is not real estate industry. The Real Estate Foundation is actually a creation of the province. And whenever there's a housing transaction, there's a deposit made. The interest monies go into a fund which is administered through the Real Estate Foundation, the mandate of which is to upgrade the practice of land use and educate practitioners in this province. So in terms of the action plan, which we created back in 2003 when we got started, and Ted Managula is part of that plan. It's on the ground, it's the on the ground stuff, because we've had the experience at a high level, highfalutin words, and so the last 7 years we've been doing things from the bottom up. So it's very much grassroots, and it's all about being water centric. And when we say water centric, we're saying planning with a view to water, no matter what the scale, whether it be the province, whether it be a community, whether it be the site. And as you mentioned, Ted, the program delivery is through the BC Water Waste Association. So again, to reinforce, I said it's bottom up. This is the 4 areas of coverage, products and tools. I put out a flyer on your table, which is the Water Bucket website, the communication vehicle. We have the Water Balance Model, which is a web-based tool. Ted Managula is the chair of that partnership that developed it. So it's all about building practitioner capacity, because what you often find is, people may have learned something in university, they may have heard one of us make a presentation, and then they misunderstood it and misapplied it. So part of it is getting the common understanding and getting a consistency. And but a big part of it is changing expectations of people on the ground to do business differently. Because if we do that, we get a better outcome. So I just wanted to connect the dots here in terms of the action plan and previous Langley involvement, because 2 years ago, when we did the showcasing green infrastructure innovation, I'm looking at Raman, because Langley was one of 3 hosts for that series, and your theme was harmony and integration. Hopefully you still have 2 years driving things, but at that time 2 years ago, you had a lot of good things to showcase, and so this is a photo collage just showing how we start off in the morning with a telling your stories, and the showcasing series is kind of a unique form, because it's not a conference, it's not a seminar, it's the host local governments tell their stories, what they're proud of, to other municipalities and local governments, and then we hop on the bus and we go look at things. And so in this case, this is showing a sequence of photographs starting at Yorkson, some of the innovation up there, and then including down at North Creek. So that gives you a bit of a feel for your on-the-ground involvement. And I mentioned I alluded to the Water Balance Model, an online tool. Township of Langley is a partner in that initiative too. So it's not just highfalutin language. But in my remaining few minutes, I just want to focus on what we're putting a lot of effort to right now, which is what we call the regional team approach. And it's really interesting because this is one of those phrases which just kind of clicked, because if you think about it, for a long time, for a generation, more people have talked about a regional approach. That's not new language. And what was interesting coming out of the showcasing series with the involvement of communities like Langley was you insert one word, regional team approach, it just changes everybody's perspective. And recently we were talking about it, and it seems to come down that when you use the word team, then people start to have a personal commitment, start to see things differently. And that's what we're starting to see now on the ground, whether it's in this region or in Vancouver Island or the Okanagan. People are collaborating, and that's really my theme today. So what we do then is bring together those neutral forums. That's what the showcasing series is all about. And the idea of the regional team approach is it's everybody, right? It's the province, those who legislate, it's local government, those who plan, it's the developers, those who build, it's the stewardship sector. It's a key important thing, and I guess with your LEPs, that's a prime example of collaboration between local government and the stewardship sector. Academia, and of course, a municipality like Langley, the agricultural community is very important. So the regional team approach, that's my takeaway message for today. And it's all about partnerships and collaboration, because thinking back to the showcasing series, we couldn't have made it happen unless there was both partnerships with Langley and with Delta and with Metro Vancouver and collaboration with the other municipalities who all participated. What are we trying to do? It's all about seeking to achieve alignment at the three scales. And that's why Living Water Smart is such an important document. It's a visionary document. It's not a prescriptive document, but what it does, it creates the vision, it creates the picture of where we want to go in this province. And it allows us to say, what do we want this place to look like in 50 years? You know, it's not going to be a case of somebody telling you what it's going to look like. It's going to be a matter of all the people in this room shaping what your community looks like, but you need to have the high-level goals. And that's what we didn't have until a year ago when this was released in June. Having the high-level goals of what we want this province to look like, having those goal statements, then we can sort of say in a group like this, okay, there's the statement, what does it mean to you, how are we going to make it happen? And you know, it only happens when you get everybody in alignment, so it's at three scales, regional, provincial, regional, and local. And this quote from Eric Bond, I think it's key, which is, what does a regional team approach mean? Everyone needs to agree on expectations, because the expectations get set at this level, and how all the players will work together. Once you have that, then you go off and you can achieve your goals in your own way. So that's the essence of what we mean by a regional team approach. Just kind of giving you a quick history. It had its genesis in what we call the Vancouver Island Learning series, which was now we're in the midst of demonstrating how we actually make it happen. The Coalox Valley is our pilot region, and next Friday we kick off this year's Learning Lunch series, where the four local governments are actually committed to working together to take that highfalutin regional growth strategy language and actually make it real on the ground in eastern municipalities with consistency. And in terms of this region, this language is now embedded, at least in the policy framework for the part of the liquid waste management plan. I happen to chair the citizen appointed group, the reference panel. So this language is in there now for this region. So what are the key words? Partnerships, collaboration, innovation, integration. That's what it's all about. You can only achieve that through a spirit of goodwill and working together under a regional umbrella. But what makes it work? What are the principles? You've got to have that common vision. And you know, it's all about learning and networking. Today this is a prime example of how you actually build this approach. And it's focusing on the relationship between land and water, because I'm a water guy, you know, I'm an engineer, also a planner, and in my whole career, we've always had this disconnect between those who talk about the land and those who talk about the water, and we keep saying, no, it's what you do on the land impacts what happens in the water, so the two are connected, and that's what we're trying to do through the education process, get people to realize actions have consequences. And it's promoting the sharing of ideas and experience. So, not rocket science, but I'm sure that it makes sense to all of you. So finally, I want to leave you with this statement. I showed you the slide of Eric Bonham because when he was in England a couple of years ago, he saw his gravestone, and he shared it with the rest of the team. And it really made sense to us because, you know, a vision without a task is but a dream. A task without a vision is but drudgery. A vision with a task is the hope of the world. That's what we're trying to do in terms of British Columbia and do things differently.